My name is Jeff Morgan. I'm from Dallas, Texas. The issue I want to talk about is, can government actors block your opinions on Facebook? In the First Amendment to our Constitution, the U.S. government is forbidden from making laws which abridge our freedom of speech. In Texas, in particular, Article 1, Section 8, the freedom of the speech and press says this: every person shall be at liberty to speak, write, or publish his opinions on any subject, being responsible for the abuse of that privilege, and no law shall ever be passed curtailing the liberty of speech or of the press. So the question that it really comes down to was this: do these same laws that guarantee the freedom of speech also guarantee our freedom of speech when it comes down to social medias such as Facebook? And in particular, how do these principles apply when you are posting on a comment written by a person who is a government actor? Now, there's two things to remember here: is that an individual can be a government actor and can also have a private account. On that person's private account, that person does actually have more authority and more ability to censor opinions or whatever he or she wants to do with it. But when it comes down to a person who is acting as an elected official, acting as a government actor, he or she is very limited as far as what he or she can do when it comes down to opinions or viewpoints that diverge from his or her own. So the first thing you have to know is this: is the account that you are commenting on, is that person portraying himself or herself as a government actor? So for example, a few days back, I made a comment on a judge's page, Judge Patricia Baca Bennett out of Tarrant County. I made a comment on her page. Now on her page, she represented herself as being a judge, and she was issuing an opinion on something. So I made my comment on that page. It was her page as a judge, representing herself as a judge, representing herself as a government actor. She put forth an opinion that I disagreed with, and she deleted my comment. Did she have the right to do that? As a government actor, she cannot actually do that because she would be engaged in viewpoint discrimination. Now, if I'm writing on her page and it's her personal page, of course she can delete my comment. But as a government actor, as an official of the state of Texas, as a judge, as a district judge out of Tarrant County, she had no right to do so. And in doing so, she actually violated my rights to freedom of speech, and she also exercised viewpoint discrimination against me. So once an official opens up his or her social media for public conversation, that person cannot stop another person from joining. That person cannot block that person from participating. That person cannot delete that person's opinions simply because they are contrary to his own or her own. Once a person in a government position starts asking for the public's input, the judge cannot censor that person's opinion, cannot block that person, cannot delete their opinions. Allowing a government actor to ban critics, and that's what I would be. I would be a critic of something that she said. Allowing her to ban critics from speaking in public forums, and Facebook is a public forum, allowing them to do so would silence and chill dissent. It would warp the public conversation, and it would skew public perception. And enabling government actors to block critics from petitioning them for services or seeing public information would mean punishing them for speaking out, for holding views critical of them. Now, I was not requesting any types of services, but I did have an opinion, and she deleted my opinion. What she did was a violation of my free speech rights. As a government actor, she had no right to do so, and I will be filing a complaint against her with the State Commission on Judicial Conduct for doing what she did, for silencing my viewpoint, for exercising viewpoint discrimination against me, and then later on deleting the entire post. Now you might think, this is crazy. Why are you worried about this? Well, there actually was a case that took place in the United States Court of Appeals for the 4th District, and the case number is 17-2002. Brian Davison was the plaintiff versus Phyllis Randall. In her official and individual capacity, she was a defendant. Now, this case was argued September the 26th, 2018. It was decided January the 7th, 2019. In this case, Mr. Davidson argued that Phyllis Randall, who was the chair of the Loudoun County, Virginia Board of Supervisors, was actually censoring his opinion, and in doing so, she was violating his First Amendment rights as one of her constituents. Mr. Davidson had actually liked or commented on 7 of Randall's posts on the chair's Facebook page, but he also questioned the school board members for failing to disclose personal conflicts as required by law before voting on financial transactions before the school board. It turned out that Ms. Randall deleted the entire post that he was commenting upon. So the issue was this: was Miss Randall engaged in viewpoint discrimination? Was she guilty of doing something under the color of law, engaging in viewpoint discrimination against one of the constituents? This was a public forum. This was a government forum. Was she, as a government actor or maintaining a government site, was she exercising viewpoint discrimination against him? And both the court and the district court did affirm that she was exercising viewpoint discrimination against him and that this was a violation of his First Amendment rights. This is a long reading, but you can find it online. Once again, it's Brian Davison, the plaintiff, versus Phyllis Randall in her official and individual capacity, and also the Loudoun County Board of Supervisors. Again, this is case number 17-2002. So the issue about whether a judge or a representative or a senator or a governor or an attorney general or a president or a vice president, any official government actors, can they censor your viewpoints? They can actually delete your viewpoints if you are giving them personal threats or if you are speaking in a profane manner to them. However, when it comes down to a viewpoint that is critical of them, they do not have any right to do so. An official speaking as a government actor cannot limit interactions based on viewpoint. Once again, to do so would be allowing that government actor to ban critics from speaking in public forums. We don't not live here under Saddam Hussein's Iraq, in which any critic gets banished and maybe not seen again forever. This is not what we have in the United States of America. We do have freedom of speech, and these public forums that these government officials are opening up, as individual citizens, you do have a right to engage in them. As long as you are speaking without profanity and personal threats, you are allowed to exercise your right to disagree with their opinions, and they are not allowed to ban, censor, or block you. Now, in the case that I'll be talking about with Patricia Baca Bennett, she actually did delete my comments, and then she also blocked me, and I'm still blocked from her page to today. I cannot comment on her page any further, and she ended up deleting the entire post. By doing so, this judge, District Judge Patricia Baca Bennett, actually was engaged in viewpoint discrimination, squelching the conversation, and she also violated my First Amendment rights. I will be pursuing more in details about this in an upcoming video. Thank you.